What is up, YouTube? It's been a minute, and this was supposed to be an entirely different video. We've had ridiculously warm weather for the last week of February and beginning of March, where I'm at. So I got about a week off at the end of March, and I'm anticipating that we're probably gonna have snow on my days off. It's usually how that goes. But it's been stupid warm, so I've been driving the truck around. It's filled with a bunch of tires. We're gonna run over to the recycling tire place, get rid of those customer tear-offs from the shop. Evo Sporty's back. The last video kind of ended abruptly because we ripped this apart, and I was asking you guys a bunch of questions on how this works, which I spent a little bit of time today. Hopefully you guys still inundate me with the comments when that video comes out. The struts are non-existent. This is the chrome covers, not the actual struts that it needs. This is not safe. Dottie should not have been sitting on the back of this. And I knew that. I had it all apart in the last video. I jammed it all back together after saying how broken it was so we could ride this around. And we're definitely keeping this bike for a little bit. Down the line, it might turn into a Evo chopper project or something. I know in the comments on the last video when I brought this home, I've been reading through those. There is a bunch of you that said, keep the Evo, jump on something and ride, it's better to have a rider than something to wrench on, blah, 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 blah. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. If you have one bike and you had to keep one bike between this or the old chopper, as much as I like the old chopper, me personally, from a friend of people that have gone the other route, as well as my own life experiences, I would keep your good running bike, then do a fun old project. I have no shortage of projects or running bikes. So quick little recap if you're new to the channel. Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. Evo Sporty, I bought this only because I literally accidentally bought a Paco frame. An Evo Paco frame. I was picking up an Ironhead rigid frame with a title. That's all I went there for. And he had a brand new, never assembled Paco rigid frame there, and basically told me, hey, I'm trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Make me an offer. I'll give you a smoking deal. So I think, mathematically, however that worked out, I ended up getting 2 chopper frames, one titled, one brand new Paco frame, which in my head doesn't matter if you have a titled bike. Save your frame, throw it up in the rafters, throw your entire bike, no welding, no cutting, no fussing. Not that I'm opposed, I like doing that stuff too, but it was the easiest way to throw together a build. I found this one. I was going to keep the mag wheels, keep the stock front end length, and basically transplant this 5-speed 1200 into the rigid chassis with the mag wheels, send it down the road, maybe do a chain drive on it and ditch the belt. But other than that, send it down the road, have a nice little stock-ish ripper in a hardtail frame. But those projects snowball like crazy. This thing. So there's the update on the Evo. It's back together the wrong way. I figured out the struts and the rails and all the other things, so preemptively I'm making this video before that one posts. If you commented and filled me in, thank you, I appreciate it. But that's where this one's kind of at. So I think I'm gonna dump, I don't know, 150 bucks or so, grab the actual strut rails, and then start digging through some of the parts we got laying around here. I have a sissy bar here, so we'll yank this off and put it on the bracket. So I'm gonna buy the actual strut rails that I don't think are gonna be the easiest thing to find, and then the brackets to do a just stock sporty sissy bar thing. This is ridiculous because I've sold 1 million of them. I have none in my possession other than that, which doesn't directly bolt up because in my little bit of research, I think the 89 to 93 ish, correct me if I'm wrong, still again, 89 or 90 to 93 is kind of a goofy rear section. 94 to 04 is different, and then 04 and on is the plethora of Evo parts that I don't have, so I don't really know how that works. This is the newest bike I've had in a very long time, but we took it out, runs great, perfect. I think I'm going to do a set of 6-inch risers and then some variation of either straight across drag bar things or some real wide pullbacks-ish. I don't really know. I don't know what I want to do. I hate the stupid LED headlight that it has, but it is really nice to drive behind at night. But I hate it. Aesthetically, I hate it. I hate that it does a little light dance around the thing when I fire it up. Whatever. We're digressing. The Evo's going to stay an Evo. Not doing anything for exhaust or anything else like that. We're just going to... It's a 5-speed 1200 Evo. If you lay into one of these are very fun bikes, factory, without any sort of performance parts. But a 1200 5-speed is an excellent bike. Dottie hates riding on the back of this without the sissy bar, and I don't blame her because I tend to get a little whiskey throttly. And that bike actually moves excessively fast in contrast to the rest of these. Now, moving on from that, I don't need a good running bike because I do have 3. The Superglide's supposed to be getting ripped apart and we're freshening this up, but this is a perfectly good running bike. If I don't touch this at all, it will be fine for this season. I'm on the fence though because I really want to dig into a shovelhead on this channel and I haven't done it yet. The chopper runs perfect. I have one exhaust mount to weld up on that before the season starts, but that's ready to go. And then we have a perfectly running Redding 78 FLH. So once we get the weather to warm up a little bit and I can pull everything out of the garage and do one quick deep spring cleaning, I think we'll do one separate video on all of the motorcycles that I currently own, including the ones over at my buddy's shop, that other Ironhead. The other chopper is at my house right now. Evo came back. That's kind of where we're at. This is not a content video for working on anything. If you're still sticking around, please do, because we gotta have a chit chat about all sorts of things that are going through my head right now at this current juncture. Update on the Garelli. I brought this back, welded up the exhaust, kind of a hodgepodge video. Did not have my pedals with me and took a gamble and I lost. So this is going to be the 3rd time I bring this back to the shop and cut and weld it because these need to free spin. Now, yes, I can torch this and bend this out and get in a little extender piece and do all of that, but fab-wise, I do have enough room for this to clear. I'm going to bring it around to the top. This is going to line up the pin here. It's going to sit pretty flush with the shaft here. We have about that much of the pedal hitting on the pipe, which actually looks way more on the camera. We got a loosey-goosey, floppy, welded up bracket here that we can torch, weld, bend, cut, grind, whatever on this side, but we have a plethora of room here. So I think if I cut that at the welds and basically clock this and bend the tab down, it'll drop the rear of the exhaust down just a hair, snug that in, and then we will have our 1/4 inch of pedal clearance. Looking down from the top, move my hat, you can see kind of where that's hitting. I knew that was going to be an issue, but I wanted to bring it home and rush. And when you rush things, it bites you in the ass and you get to do it all over again. So there's that. Updates on the moped. Once the exhaust is finalized, I'm ready to start jamming full steam ahead on the rest of this stuff. I hit up my buddy Jeremiah. If you don't know him, Old Iron Parts Co., big Sportster guy. He's got all your Sportster parts, does a bunch of raffles. Check him out on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel too. Him and I have been exchanging parts for a handful of years now. Good buddy of mine. I know he's kind of getting into car stuff. I got into car stuff last year. We're just running the gamut of making stupid purchases and doing stupid things with our money and our time. So he's got a pretty sweet old Dodge he's working on that's made it on the internet, as well as all of their other stuff. And then he does 3D printing. So he makes these 3D printed grips. Very cool. Very, very cool. We got these here with us. I think he does 1 inch and 7/8 on there. They're glittery. They're kind of cool. Well, they at least look glittery based on the cuts. This is 3D printed. And they are flexy, especially for a 3D printed piece of plastic. Very flexy. Very cool. Came with some fancy keychains, so thank you, Old Iron Parts Co. Can't wait to see you soon. But that's where we're at on this. Let me throw you guys up on the tripod, crack a beer, sit down, and then we get to start the complaining segment of this video about the post office. A couple things, and we can kind of segue this. One, before we get into the complaining parts, thank you, United States Post Office. Hippie's Chopper Corner. If you don't follow him, give him a like, give him a subscribe. He's down in Nashville doing all sorts of fun stuff on, he's got all sorts of bikes, pans, Evos, shovels, all the stuff I would like to continuously work on, but I keep finding myself in a situation where I keep finding bargains on Sportsters, and if the deal's right and I have the cash in my pocket, I spend it. This is my retirement strategy, even though I'm substantially a little younger than several of the viewers that are in their 60s, 70s, 50s. Fine. I appreciate you guys coming by and watching me. I'm still figuring this stuff out. I have no idea what I'm doing. But we have the Ironhead chopper that I did just finally list for sale. And I listed it high. I'm not gonna lie. If you follow here, if you follow me on any of the social media stuff or track me down, or in the Midwest and browsed Facebook Marketplace for old crusty choppers, that Ironhead popped up. I posted it for 4,500 bucks. I got 4,500 cash out of the purple Ironhead I had, 73. That one was a little chopper frame, David Bird hardtail, stainless pipe, stainless sissy bar, king queen seat, all stuff that I did, powder coated tank. I think it's high for an Ironhead, but I don't think it's high for the market. And I don't know how you want to draw the lines in terms of this. Money-wise, I'm frugal. I'm not going to go out and drop 10 grand on a panhead motor just to have a motor sitting on the shelf and then need to rebuild it and do a bunch. I can't do it. I can get on two wheels, I can run and ride up and down the road for substantially less, but I'm willing to take it apart and go through and redo them. It's not for everybody. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying 4,500 bucks, crusty old chopper. It's got the cool guy parts to it. I don't think I'm gonna get that, but that sets me up for a good spot for trading, lowballing, etc. That's how this works. Buy cheap, sell high, right? That if you wanna make a living flipping parts, doing anything else, and I'm not even doing that full time. So for those of you that do, I tip my hat to you guys. But if you've been following the channel for a little bit, we just bought a giant parts lot about a month ago. We sold off the shovelhead frame and basically a shovelhead roller minus the transmission. Well, I just sold the transmission on Facebook Marketplace for a good price to ship it. I was stoked to do that. Got a fair price for a cow pie transmission, in my opinion. No cracks, no breaks, complete unit. Did I pull the lid and go through everything? No, but for what it is, it's much better than a lot of the cases that people were selling for about the same price. Listed for sale, they ask if we can ship it to Kentucky. This is a 7-hour drive for me. It makes sense to ship. Cost 50 bucks to ship. And that's where it went AWOL. So, put it in the mail, tape the crap out of it, send a t-shirt down and some shop stuff. Box arrived this morning and I get a phone call from the guy that bought it from us, or a message. Trans is not in the box. USPS, the Postal Service, rewrapped the entire thing, sealed up the box, and continued sending it. Was it too heavy for the box it was in? I don't know. It was a heavy-duty box, not crazy cheap, thin material. It was stapled, it was taped, it was thoroughly staped. Like, it was an old V-twin box. So if you bought a gas tank from V-twin, it was one of them. A little thin, maybe, but it was covered in fragile things, this side up, heavy. It was 38, 40 pounds. It was under 40 pounds. So 40-pound box for a loaded trans with all the gears, etc. The box made it there in one piece. The top tape and the shipping label was all intact. The bottom, not so much. I don't know what happened. Did I package it poorly? Maybe. I've shipped them before, never had an issue. But in this particular instance, the bottom of the box is opened, retaped, and sent down the road to show up at his door saying, item was not, I wish I had the exact, got it here, hold on. Memory's not as good as it was 5 years ago. It said on the top of the box, received without contents. That's how it showed up. Thankfully, the customer that bought this transmission from me was very cool about the entire situation. understands because he's been having very, very bad luck with the post office 3 weeks ago. Now, in order to continue with the story, I had one of the followers on this channel, thank you, Gary, mailed me, we had a nice conversation the other night, but he mailed me an air cleaner for Frankenstein from Canada. He just got his package that he mailed me before Christmas back in the mail. We don't even know if it left the country. So definitely having some issues in that regard. Be cautious of shipping things. I don't like saying this. I'm not going to complain. I'm sure they have 1,000,001 things going on with the rise of online shipping stuff. But now I just refunded money to Larry for the transmission he just bought from me in Kentucky. Gave him his money back, and I don't have a transmission. So I went online, filed it. There's mosquitoes. It's March 4th, 3rd? March 3rd or 4th, and we have mosquitoes. This is ridiculous. But I'm going through, filing a claim with the post office, trying to get this figured out. What else can I do? There was shipping insurance. They guarantee it up to, I don't know, 100, 200 bucks, but it was a complete transmission. That was worth a lot more than that, but more importantly, it's not really like, it was good parts that he was all set to put together and build, right? If I take a little bit of a loss on it, it is what it is. But that's just wrong. Like, how do you have a box that breaks and then not tag it or call, because all of my contact info is on the shipping label, call or send it back to me or something, or I don't know, any of those things. This is the world we live in, I guess. Ironically, we also live in a world where I can look at every tracking stop along the way and know that it went from where I dropped it off, because I didn't show up for the pickup, where I physically went to go drop it off since they didn't pick it up for me, where it went to next. Then we got a weekend hiatus, and then it shows up in Kentucky at their facilities. So then talking with him, he's been complaining, had a bunch of issues on his side with other packages from other people, so this is not just a me thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to overly complain about it, but be cautious of that, because I thought I made money on this. I thought he was getting good parts. The rest of that bike that I sold off, the guy that got it was extremely happy when he opened up the motor to give it a once over. It ended up being in way better shape than I anticipated too, so he got a good deal on that one. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating when I take my time and effort and energy, and now I'm spending 2 hours on the phone call on the phone with the post office trying to talk to an actual human to figure out what happened. Luckily, when I finally got a hold of a human, they said there's 3 facilities total that this package was at, so hopefully we can hunt it down. And it's a loaded cowpie transmission. It's not like it's a small little piece that fell out of the box and you didn't notice it, right? Wow, this package is kind of heavy for your normal packages, but now it's extremely light. Did it fall off on the truck? Did it fall off on the way there? I don't know. Hippie's Chopper Corner, once again, plugging you guys. My envelope to you made it there. Your envelope to me made it there. Check his channel out. Grab a t-shirt. I have t-shirts available as well. Still working on trying to set up the store on the powder coating website that I've been tagging in all the videos. Coming soon. But just be cautious of that. If you're gonna start trying to do all of this and buy, sell, trade, flip stuff, obviously the guy down the road from you that can meet you locally is gonna be your best bet. Swap meets. Phenomenal for this kind of stuff, but I will get much more selling things on the internet than I will at a swap meet. It's just how it goes. If I approach a swap meet, which we do all of them out here in my area, I typically end up fire selling a bunch of stuff and sell it substantially cheaper than what I think it's actually worth. So if there's anything you've seen in that giant pile of parts and you're local, go to the Woodstock swap and buy stuff there, because it's just easier. I mean, I found those Falcon doors yesterday I paid 150 bucks for 2 loaded doors, driver and passenger. Only needed the driver. Bought both because the price was right. 150 bucks for a pair of complete doors in pretty good shape. Color's not right, but that doesn't matter. But I got glass, I got mirrors, I got all the other stuff. But I just drove 9 hours round trip yesterday out to Iowa. Then lucked out and ended up picking up an intake manifold for the 351 motor I got as well on the way back. That one was on Facebook Marketplace for about a week and a half. I saw it, I looked at it, but I didn't want to drive an hour to go pick it up. Well, I drove 6 minutes out of the way on my way home yesterday, and timing worked out. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Post office really screwed me on this one. I'll let you guys know what happens with this, but as of right now, there is a cow pie transmission floating around somewhere in between Chicago and Kentucky at the post office, I'm assuming, lost somewhere in the MIA pile. I don't think it was stolen. I don't think anybody's going to open up a box, because 95% of the population will have no idea what those are. Unless it was a chopper guy working that route and the box opened up and he scored. So not anticipating that, but thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I know it's a different video. Thanks again, Hippie, for the shirt. Hopefully we can get this mail thing sorted out and I can get people's parts where they need to be. We will catch you guys on the next one as Dottie decides how she wants to build the Evo. See you tomorrow.